Welcome to my channel. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John and today I will be ranking the Gojira albums. So before I begin, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I do album reviews, rankings, and a lot more. So today we'll be ranking the Gojira albums from worst to best. They have 7 albums spanning a 20-year career. And I will be including the new one called Fortitude, so I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm just going to get right into it. Coming in at number 7 is their debut album, Terra Incognita. And this one came out in 2001. The album was written by Joe Duplantier after he decided to move away from society and live in a cabin that he built in a forest. And he lived with his girlfriend for 2 years. They were completely off the grid, no electricity. For those of you who saw my review of Fortitude, I described this band as being environmentalists and animals rights activists, and you know, they are that type of band. So that will be like a common theme, like across all of their albums. But anyway, it's their debut. It's a good album. It's heavy. It shows off their technical death metal style. One of the songs I like is called Deliverance. The riffs are very like chunky and it moves at a very like fast rhythm. The riffs are very heavy and Joe's vocals are very aggressive, so it's a really good song off of a really good album. Now, all of these albums are very good, it's just that some are better than the others. Coming in at number 6 is The Link. This was released in 2003 and this is the album that many like Gojira fans like the least, but I like it a lot. I don't know if it was intentional, but it reminds me a lot of the band Korn. And you know, for those of you who watch my channel know I'm a big fan of 2000s metal and new metal. The standout track on this is called Indians, and it's not the Anthrax song, but it's their own song called Indians, and it moves at a slow pace. The riffs are very thick and meaty. Joe's vocals are very aggressive on this one. The song has some tempo changes and some really like thrashy riffs. You know, but as the song progresses, it changes tempos. You know, that really makes a great song, and it is a really good album in general. Like I said before, it does remind me a little of the band Korn. So the rest of the albums are like really great. They were really hard to rank. My ranking is probably going to be a lot different than the other ones you have seen. So coming in at number 5 is Lafont Salvage, which is French for the Wild Child. This was released in 2012, and this was their major label debut. The album was inspired by a French film of the same name, you know, according to Joe Duplantier. And it is about the concept of freedom and what it is to be free and what does it really mean. This is a great album. I feel the other albums are slightly better. That's why I do have it kind of low. But the title track, it's an awesome song. It has this heavy machine gun riff, some cool futuristic sounding lead guitar playing. Joe's vocals are very aggressive. Another good song is called The Gift of Guilt, and this is a slower song, has some like futuristic lead work, and it's a type of sound they would explore later on like the album Magma, and that album Magma I will talk about later. Now this is a very melodic song and it doesn't lose its heaviness. You know, the songs here do have some killer heavy riffs and it's really a great album. So the next one might surprise you, but I've thought it over a lot. Coming in at number 4 is From Mars to Sirius. This is usually the favorite album among the Gojira fans, and I do think it's great, but there are 3 more better albums. It has an environmental theme, and specifically climate change and its impact on marine life. And this brings us to one of their best songs ever called Flying Whales. It begins with the sound of whales and has a slow atmospheric intro with clean guitars playing. The song starts out as a mid-paced prog rock song, but has some heavy riffs and blast beats that come in later, and this is one of their best like environmentally conscious songs. Another standout song is called The Heaviest Matter in the Universe, and probably like one of like the best song titles like in all of heavy metal probably. It's a classic Gojira song, has some crushing riffs, odd time signatures, has some blast beats, some heavy vocals, and also one of their best songs. But for me, other than those 2 songs, which are probably like some of their best, The rest of the album is very good, but not great. Coming in at number 3 is the new album Fortitude, and I do have a full review of it. I will link it at the end of this video, and this album is a little more accessible than the others, and it would be a good place to start for newcomers. You know, this is kind of like their Black Album, or it's something like compared to like Sepultura's Roots. I'm not going to talk too much about this one, so please check my full review, which I will link at the end of this video. Coming in at number 2 is Magma, and this may be a surprise because this is like the album that many fans like the least. It was a slight departure from their signature sound, but the songwriting is like very good. The album was released after the death of Joan Maria Duplanter's mother, and it was meant to be a metaphor for feeling something like boiling up inside of you that just eventually like erupts. This album is also very accessible and a good place for fans to start. They even cited Pantera as an influence for this one. The best song in the album is called Silvera, has some really heavy riffs, some really cool lead guitar work. And I did watch a video of somebody like doing a cover of the song, and when they play the guitar, some pretty cool like that like two-handed like tapping to create that sound in like the chorus riff. Another great song is called The Shooting Star. This one moves a little slower pace, still very heavy. Joe's vocal style, it's a little different on this one. It's like cleaner, has some like effects added, and it really creates this really cool atmosphere. And number 1, and this also may be surprising, is called The Way of All Flesh. And I like this one a lot, and this has always been my go-to album over the years. The main theme of this album is the concept of life and death. My favorite song is called A Sight to Behold, and it sounds very different than other Gojira songs. It has this like synth, and the main riff and the vocals are very like distorted. It's very like melodic death metal song. I really love this one. It's my favorite. Another good one is called Toxic Garbage Island, and it has some really great like stop-start riffs, really some odd time signatures. It's a heavy song, some aggressive vocals. And another great one is called The Art of Dying. It's a long song, it's like 10 minutes long, but it starts out with some tribal percussion, some instruments, and this is like something that they would use later on actually the new album. But The Art of Dying, it's another great song. It's heavy, has some really heavy riffs, and just basically this entire album I like. You know, I can like list all the songs basically, and I really like it, but I want to keep this video length at a pretty decent length. So that's why I'm going to end it here. So let me know your ranking in the comment section. This week I do have a heavy work schedule, so I will be doing maybe some shorter videos throughout the week. I do want to review Van Weezer this weekend, and maybe I'll do some reviews of some of the vinyl records that Aaron sent me, so I can talk about them more in depth after a few days of listening to them. I think that would be a good idea for this week. I have been listening to the Beatles a lot lately. You know, after listening to a lot of heavy metal, I thought I'd like go back to my classic rock roots, and so I may be discussing the Beatles in the future. And that's it. Please check out my in-video links. My review of Fortitude should be up there. And that's it. I'll see you in the next one.